Roll call, please.
President Byrne.
Here.
Trustees Hebda.
Here?
Schultz.
Here.
Markwart.
Here.
Cook.
Here.
Grebe.
Here.
Williams.
Hi, here. I am that too.
We have a quorum present. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yeah, right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. And then,
John heard me because he ran over and started.
okay. Are there any citizens that wish to address the board tonight on anything other than what's on committee of the whole? Because if it's on committee of the whole, then you'll get called upon. Anybody? Okay. All right. Proclamation to Lawrence M. Nacron for dedicated service. I assume this is the framed object here, right?
Yep, I think, yeah.
All right. So when is Larry's,
January
6th.
and that's gonna be here?
What's that?
January?
his last
No,
day.
when are we doing the little,
Coffee's on the December 18th, 3 to 5.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
so everybody got that? Yep.
It'll be in your transmittal packet and everybody's invited.
What is it? It's already,
It's in the transmittal, it'll be in the transmittal packet again and,
December 18th, what time?
I mean, next week?
no,
5.
this coming week, it absolutely will be.
I mean, this week.
No, next.
No, I mean, it'll be in the transmittal.
Again, yes.
Well, you know, I mean,
Who's on?
First.
I'm trying to, you know. It's a Friday.
Correct. It'll be in this room, 3 to 5.
Okay, 3 to 5, I'm okay
Yeah,
then.
it's kind of an open
You know,
house.
so, I mean, I assume some people up here have other things to do,
No.
you know,
A handful.
on the 18th. I mean, I'm not taking the day off for you, Larry.
Oh,
You
no,
know.
if I was you, I wouldn't either.
I am.
3 to 5, right?
3 to 5.
Okay, Larry, it's 3 to 5?
Yeah.
Yes.
That doesn't sound right, talking to to your village treasurer. He pled 3 to 5. Really. Okay.
In this state, that's for sure.
Yeah, and really, I don't know, you don't own horses, right, Larry?
Plead the fifth, Larry.
Just do what we said. You're speeding here.
Okay, that's nice. All right, so the proclamation here tonight, since Larry's beloved wife is here, is that correct?
Melinda's? Hi.
Mel-
I didn't even see
Melinda's
you coming
here.
in.
Right?
Melinda, yes.
And, okay, proclamation to Lawrence M. Nacron. What's the M stand for?
Michael.
Wow,
I
okay.
never knew
I think
that.
that's pretty good.
In appreciation,
St. Michael.
in appreciation for his dedicated service to the village of Vernon Hills. Lawrence M. Nacron became the first finance director for the village of Vernon Hills on December 3rd, 1984. Larry successfully transitioned the village from a paper-based financial system to computer-based system. Larry's first budget in fiscal year 1985 was $3.45 million compared to fiscal year 2016's $28 million and a police pension fund balance of $797,000 compared to nearly 41 million today?
Yep.
Wow. Holy God. Larry, why do we have so much in that police pension fund?
Our
Holy
boys are ready
God.
to
Ask what the liability is, I guess.
Is this like 120% funded?
Oh, we need to have 6.
Close, huh?
No.
Come on, give me a number.
And actually, we'll be getting to that. It's, according to our actuary, it's about 67% funded. If you use the DOI numbers, it's 82% funded, but DOI assumes police officers retire between the ages of 50 and 70. How many officers have you
I was
seen
gonna say,
retire at
yeah,
age
you can
70?
forget that.
Chief, he's gonna stay till he's 70.
Well, that's true.
Okay, well, I'm glad we have closure on that. During his tenure,
DOI.
you want to keep going? You got the
Yes.
floor. Larry, this is for you.
No.
So if you want to keep talking, no, this
You
is
go,
fine.
your-
If you want
your
to,
time,
if
honey.
you want to interject, you can interject anytime you want.
No.
You sure? All right. Okay, during his tenure, Larry has worked for 3 mayors, 23 trustees, 7 village clerks, and 3 managers, along with countless employees. Are these numbers right, Larry?
It's, yeah, I got it 3 times.
Okay, over the years, Larry collaborated with the board and staff to maintain a strong village budget and fund reserve, which sometimes required him to travel far and wide, but resulted in the village achieving a AAA bond rating from Moody's and S&P. Now, does far and wide mean when we went to like New York?
Yeah.
Was that the
That's-
far?
That's just
that's
wide.
far,
That was the
that's-
far?
Where's the wide?
That's not the wide part, or?
It's kind of both. I don't know, did you guys go to California once?
No.
I didn't make that right.
And I-
No,
I know it wasn't me.
That's more than wide.
Did you go there on a junket or anything, or? Junket?
I've been to California. We had a GFLA conference there.
Okay,
I
there-
knew you
see,
went to
there's the
California.
wide,
Yeah.
from sea.
That was the far.
From sea to shining sea. Okey doke. All right, Larry worked through budgetary issues and financial challenges while assisting to create an early retirement incentive program that avoided furloughs and layoffs without reducing services or discontinuing projects. Larry was instrumental in funding the construction of the new village hall, expansion of the police department, remodeling of the public works building, and construction of the Vernon Hills Athletic Complex. Larry also supported economic development activities resulting in the town center TIF district, multiple sales tax sharing agreements, and the expansion of Westfield Hawthorne Mall. He also served many regional organizations and initiatives, including the Illinois Government Officers Association, National Government Finance Officers Association, Certified Financial Analyst Institute, and Illinois Municipal Treasurers Association. Whereas after 31 years of dedication, Larry is calling it quits because he's tired of doing this. Oh, I know, he will retire on January 6, 2016. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Roger L. Byrne, President of the Village of Vernon, Village Board of Trustees, do hereby express our sincerest appreciation to Larry Nakrin for his years of dedicated service to the residents and employees of the Village of Vernon Hills, and wish him and his wife, Melinda, well in retirement. Dated this 8th day of December 2005, signed by me. So, Larry, you gotta come up here.
Yep.
And the wife's gotta take some pictures. You wanna come this way?
Can I say a few words sitting before I get
No,
up?
Go
you have
over
to
there
go,
and do it, Al.
then you have to go to the presentation
Oh,
altar.
I
You can
prefer,
turn on that little mic over
Oh,
there.
you wanna just stay there?
yeah, let me,
All right, fine.
let me stay here.
You
Okay.
had
I,
the chance.
I just have to say how much gratitude I feel for everyone in this room, and just what a tremendous environment, and how this has been an environment that's really encouraged just doing the best and thinking about the long-term good of the village. And I have to start off by thanking a couple of people in the audience. My wife, who was tolerated sometimes really strange hours, and who helped me work through, just helped me think through a lot of things. And I know I was pretty high maintenance at times, and now it's going to be your turn to be high maintenance. And I got to thank my partner for 15 years, Peggy, our assistant finance director, and she, back around the turn of the century when, when,
Right, you can say that. Yeah,
but when I think we were finding so many inefficiencies with our computer system, and Munis was looking to break into Illinois, and they were looking for somebody foolhardy enough to take on that challenge, and I was that fool, and Peggy was the one hardy enough to make it work. And, all the early Munis meetings were in this very room, all the regional meetings, and eventually it moved on to places like Bolingbrook and Schaumburg. But I remember they'd have all kinds of Munis experts, and we'd have Peggy, and she helped us with Kronos and just did a tremendous amount. And I have to thank Mayor Byrne, Mayor Williams, and just creating a tremendous environment, really, just encouraging excellence. And I have to thank Larry Lashin and Mike Allison and John Calmer, and just some great trustees that have really encouraged, just doing the best. I hope I've been worthy of that. And I've had some great employees, and I think we're, we've been proactive, and I think Nikki's just one example of how we're being proactive about the future. And, this has been a village that is really planned for the long term. So I just want to say I really feel fortunate. I'm really grateful.
Well, you want to come to the presentation altar now? Now you want to come to the altar? What do you want to say something else now?
No, I'm done.
Come out
Just
there.
want
All
to
right,
get the
Larry, it's been a pleasure. You've been through good times, bad times, and crazy times.
And you stuck it out.
Pictures. Here, let them
You
take a
gotta-
picture of
get
you.
over- Come here this way. Come here,
No, here, why don't you stand up here, Larry?
Larry. Come over here by Raj.
In the middle. Hey, here we go.
Right there,
Here,
right
Larry, hey, is that it? I only get one shake. Okay.
Okay.
You want to get in here, Melinda? Okay. It's smooch time. It's the kiss cam. Did you get something?
Yeah,
Oh,
One more. Oh.
okay. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, there we go.
that's all right. We'll fix it.
Okay.
All right.
Now, Larry, how old are you now?
I am 60 and a half.
Okay.
Oh, my
So
God, a baby.
you
youngster.
now, and you thanked your wife, and then you thanked Peggy. Did you forget Peggy's last name already? You didn't mention her last name. Oh, okay. All right. I just trying to help you out a little.
Just making sure Alzheimer's isn't
Okay.
sitting in or something.
Peggy Kapersky. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Hey, we can mic you. Stordo, come down here. Let's mic them.
Got to thank Jay Sheree Tazwala, who's worked for the finance department for 20 years. Mary Grampo, who's
Right.
worked for the finance department worked for the village since 1997 and the finance department since 2002. And Kristen Shepard, who's worked for the finance department since 2013. And we've just had some great folks in the finance department.
Okay.
And Nikki, of course, who's worked here since 2014.
Were you comfortable recommending her for your job? Or?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Because if you're not, it's a little late now.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And she's pretty close. She could hit you real easy.
Oh, real easy, man. She hit you with the diamond.
Yeah.
It could hurt you. Okay, all right. Next is introduction of Kyle Carter, General Manager, PGA Professional, Vernon Hills Golf Course. You want to step to the presentation altar? Do we have any, I don't know, do I have anything on this guy?
He's gonna tell us all about himself.
Oh, yeah, he'll fill us in, that's right.
Give me a
Kyle
couple
comes
minutes, I'll dig
to
up
us
something.
from- Yeah, okay, great. Oh, you gotta like notarize it or something? Well, I don't, I mean, I know you came from Turnberry.
Correct.
You've worked for Kemper for a few years.
7 years. Uh-huh.
7 years. And you left an 18-hole golf course. What town is that in?
Technically, Village of Lakewood, but it's Crystal Lake.
But Lakewood, Lakemore? No, it's Lakewood.
Lakewood.
Lakewood. Okay.
Well, and what was the course's name before that, or was there a name?
No, it was Turnberry Country Club. It still is. There is the golf course that's owned by the village is Redtail. So that golf course was.
Well, Redtail, it didn't Kemper, weren't they involved in that at one time?
They weren't involved with that. That was in 1989. That facility was ready to break ground. The management company that had Turnberry at that point in time went belly up. The land stayed undeveloped for roughly a year and a half, to my knowledge, and the village decided to take on that property and develop it as a golf course. And at that time, Turnberry had to sign a non-compete.
And then before there, you worked where?
I was at Royal Melbourne previous to that, so right here in Long Grove. So that was my first stint with Kemper Sports. I've been a golf professional for now 15 years. Started in 2000. I've been in the Illinois section since 2003, so 12 years. Previous in Illinois, previous to here, I was first assistant at a club down in Kankakee, Illinois, Kankakee Country Club. I was a teaching professional full-time downtown Chicago for roughly a year and a half. Went back to Indiana because I missed kind of the green grass side of it. Went back there for a year and a half. Then ended up got offered an opportunity within Kemper Sports Management, and that's how I've ended up here. So I've had a chance to meet many of you. I look forward to meeting the rest that I've not. This opportunity to me was was very intriguing because there was a gentleman that was here for 15 years, Obie Sanders. He is very respected within Kemper Sports. And I wanted to come here and kind of carry in his footsteps and maybe offer some things that I've learned along the way to this facility. So I'm very excited to get started here and facilitate the golf course and to be a part of this community. It's one thing I've really learned. I've been in private golf clubs for most of my career. And tell you what, I mean, coming to a 9-hole facility like this, I've never felt more like at a private club than I have, just from the people that have been here and the people that I've met. It's really a close-knit family, and I really look forward to embracing that and to continue the growth of the Muni.
Now, do you play golf for money?
Is this recorded?
Excuse me? Let's be careful how
The
you
answer would be no.
Do you ever play in any PGA professional tournament?
I do, yes. That I do play professionally.
Well, don't you
Yes.
play for money then?
Yes, I do.
They give it as such a
You know.
cardboard.
Yes. No,
This isn't a trick question.
I do play
Even though it
professionally,
probably
yes.
sounded
Yes.
like it
No,
was.
I do play professionally. I was ranked in the top 10 in Indiana the first year that I came out of there in points. Gosh, that was back in 2003.
Where'd you go to school?
I was at Purdue. Purdue for
Hallelujah.
Boiler Up.
Boilermaker. But I belong. Oh,
That's-
thank you.
That's
That's
right.
it, you're on good paper for life now.
You're in my-
You're in with
Unfortunately, we
about
don't
that.
like a certain team that certain
Exactly.
someone
That's
enjoys.
okay, though.
Yeah,
We're
it's
good.
okay.
We're good.
We'll fight through
Good.
that, yeah. But no, yes, I do play professionally. the last few years, my professional career has taken a step forward. I was recently married. That trumped everything. So no, I look forward to get back to playing professionally. I played in the Illinois Open this year. Qualified, well, actually, I didn't qualify for that. I was actually exempt for that. But look forward to playing some, getting back to playing professionally again and playing some events. One thing that I do have experience in is teaching. So that's one thing that I really want to bring to the golf course is instruction. Already have a few ideas about how to build that, and I think instruction is extremely important to the development of golf. It's vital. I have a strong background with junior golf. I've developed junior golf programs my entire life. Most recently, the one that I developed actually at Royal Melbourne Country Club that they still have, I took that to Turnberry Country Club and turned that program from 5 kids into this year we had 41 kids. So, and it's a developmental program to continue the growth of the game. So another thing that is kind of in place with Mr. Schultz here that had some I believe some influence in that. I want to continue that and develop that there. So,
Do you have any, paraphernalia that says the Muni on it yet? Do you have anything that says Vernon Hills Golf Course?
I do. And
You do? Did you wear it tonight?
in the golf shop.
Okay, that's just the sidebar. There's no answer to that, other than you're not wearing it. So with that said, how about your background in food and beverage and being a wine connoisseur, but it's beyond that?
Yes, I do have some food and beverage background. As far as running a food and beverage operation, I've had, I wouldn't say minimal experience in that, but I've been educated in running food and beverage operations and being a head golf professional. I've been involved with that. I think what Mayor Byrne is referring to is I'm currently studying for my certified exam of Court of Master Sommeliers.
Can you say that again?
Court of Masters Sommelier.
Wow.
So,
Can you spell that?
yeah, SOMMELLIERS.
Did the clerk get that?
Yes. Sommelier is, I don't know for anyone that doesn't understand what a sommelier is. They are a professional in beverage service and pairings. They're typically there's different professions that you can go into with a certified sommelier degree. One would be a beverage director, one would be a floor sommelier, so someone that would come to your table and offer a recommendation of wine with food pairing. One would be running the food or the beverage department at a facility.
So it goes without saying our menu's got to change drastically.
Absolutely, yes.
Because what do you think? Like fried fingers?
Well,
Chicken fingers.
yeah, we're
fried
not-
chicken fingers.
Yeah, we're not going, charcuterie and tartare just yet, but no, that's definitely something that I'm very, very, very excited to dive into is hire a new food and beverage manager and look at our options down there, and to not necessarily upgrade it, just make some different choices down there and some.
So you
some
should
better
know
options.
if, was it Southern?
Southern Wine Spirits,
Yeah, and then,
City Beverage, yeah, Words.
and then Judge and Dolph, is that Wertz's guy, or is it, they changed their name? What's Wertz changed to?
Words is,
The guy that owns the Blackhawks.
oh, yeah.
He likes to
yeah.
sell booze.
Oh, he does, yes.
Does he sell wine?
He does.
Okay, so between our 3 providers, you should be able to make sure we don't get fleeced.
Absolutely, yes. Yes,
Okay,
yes,
that's the only instructions you have from me.
absolutely.
Just don't overpay for this wine.
Well, not,
Okay. Trustee Williams.
When you were talking about the food, are you thinking about like a full restaurant or something?
no, not thinking about a full
I
restaurant.
was gonna say, we have to.
No, that has, completely, no, just some offerings that we have there. Some ideas that I have are offering certain nights throughout the week that we have that are, building up to a Wednesday night wing night, where Friday night
You and
fish
I
fry
talked about
night.
that before, right.
Yeah, build your own burger night, nacho night, that sort of thing. But as far as our offering for our menu, just offering some different items that can be prepared and stored and then served at order. So that's for the food and beverage manager that I'm putting in place. That's one thing that I'm going to ask them to do, is to look at our menu and to add some different options there. So our facility, I really do think Liz has done a fantastic job, and Jeannie did a fantastic job with the offerings for private events that I really think that we can attract here. That's another one of my ideas, is our food and beverage manager would be put on a commission-based salary to attract some of these different events. And so to standardize our menu that we have for our private events, but also just to change up that menu. And I think part of a good food and beverage manager and an executive chef, not that we would hire an executive chef, but is to change that menu. And whether it's seasonally or whether it's seasonally would be every three or 4 months. But to change that up every once in a while to keep it fresh.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know that you're going to be looking for a food and beverage manager. You're going to be advertising, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Liz for some advice on because Liz she was a manager at Zany's for 20 years, so
Right.
she's done this professionally for a long time. I have some avenues also that I can source out. One avenue would be internally through Kemper Sports Management. We have, that I personally know of, a lot of employees that are working at lower levels of line cook that are wanting to move up in the ranks and that want to experiment and are very, very excited to make that jump. So that's one avenue that I want to look at as well, do that, and then obviously take into her consideration and her advice. So,
Good point. You've done some thinking about it, and that's great. That's all I had for this
Okay.
evening. Thank you.
I have no other questions. If anybody else on the board does,
Well, I
please
just want to
ask.
make sure that you're going to include the Boilermaker on your menu for
Oh, yeah.
drinks. You know, if you went to Purdue,
absolutely, yes.
that would be a good thing. So thank you. And
Absolutely.
I'd appreciate some black and gold,
We can
I-
hang
work
that,
out.
yeah, right, actually, right in front of the bar,
There we
black
go.
and gold, yeah.
What do you-
That's,
what do you-
Maybe we
what do
should
you
put
want,
all the Big
gold,
Ten up there. Are we done with
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Snaps?
No, the Boilermaker is a good.
No, Boilermaker, yeah, it's a whiskey and a beer.
Whiskey and a beer.
There you
Is
go.
that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay. Need a heater and a cooler?
That's the one.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Welcome. and thank
All
you.
right, okay. Anybody else have any questions for Kyle? All right, Kyle, welcome.
thank you.
So much. If
Formally.
you need anything, seriously, if you need anything from us as a group, call John.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you for the golf balls, appreciate it. Yes,
okay.
He's the first person you'd get
All
over.
right, Kyle, you're free.
thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Thank you.
Okay. All right. What else we got? Village Manager 2016 Village Board and Committee of the Whole calendar of meetings.
In your packet is the calendar for next year. Lynn has been instrumental in putting this together, and I thank her for doing that. As you'll note in the calendar, we're recommending a couple of things, moving the Tuesday, March 15th meeting to Wednesday due to the general primary election. Everybody seems to enjoy the primary, so we'll move it back a day if you're okay with that. And then secondly, if you're okay again, we could have a one meeting month in August and another one meeting month in December. August 9th being the date, and August 13th would be the other date for those. So those are really the only two dates, two changes that we would propose. Everything else lined up pretty well, bowl games, holidays, extra days after Labor Day, the election in November. So we're all set, so.
What about the 5th of July, right after the 4th?
You're gonna have hangover?
We can push it back a day if you'd like.
What, July?
July 5th it is.
Tuesday.
And September, also with Labor Day.
Yeah.
We can push it
Could-
back a day if you'd
got-
like.
Labor Day not so much because the kids go back to school, but that's not, I just wonder if the 4th, if we,
No one here has kids, so.
well, but no, we go back to school. I mean, we teach, Tom and I teach, so we're back in school on, after Labor Day. But
Right.
I just wonder about, is it necessary to have 2 meetings in July? Can we do one on the 19th? I mean, do we need that? Or maybe we do, I don't know.
Yeah, July is fairly busy and, you know, there are some other things. You know what, as we get closer, we could cancel
I
a
was
meeting
gonna say,
too.
because if people are on vacation or whatever,
Right.
I could see you not having a quorum if
Right.
people are gone or.
But if you
Well,
want,
you know,
And we can adjust that
yeah,
then.
and if you want to push it back a day on either,
Or we
on
could-
either one, we can do
see
that
who's
too.
here. Okay.
yeah, and if we need special meetings,
We can
those
always-
are always, could be sprung on us.
My goal is to never have a special meeting, Your Honor,
okay. Well,
Thank you.
just to save
you
you
know
all
what, if,
the rigor of coming.
I would not bet
You're special.
on that statement,
Right.
because you don't have any control over it.
1, 2, 3.
Now, we're gonna have a
5.
special meeting.
No, we're not.
No, I'm only kidding. But we could.
We could
I'm just
cancel and
thinking we
move, yeah.
could with some development issues, so.
Oh, well, those are different.
Okay, is that about it with that?
I think so.
So do you want to push back the July meeting to
No, I
Wednesday?
mean, I guess,
I would, yeah, I don't have a
I
problem
don't
with
have a
that.
problem with that. Go to Wednesday.
You know, unless, you know, maybe somebody goes out of town, I
Well,
mean,
right,
you know.
and then you're rushing
yeah.
back
Okay.
anyway, and you gotta go to work, and you're.
Wednesday
well,
the 6th?
Or just push it back a week, because we've got only 1 week off between the June and the July, but we had 2 weeks off between the July and the August. So if you push back both the July meeting to the 12th and 26th, you know, you got the 2 weeks
Oh, that's
prior.
It might create some issues as far as enough time to get summer celebration ready.
That's true.
Yep.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Just go
Yes,
with the
I would
6th.
like to push it till
Back
the
to
6th of
just
July.
So that if someone is out of town.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Do you want to leave September as is?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know,
that's
I mean,
not-
Okay, because
know.
you'd mentioned it, that's why I was
because
asking.
trustee Schultz has got dual citizenship.
That's true.
Actually, he almost has tri-citizen, you know, he's spending a lot of time in Michigan these days.
Oh, there you go. Well, you know,
I remember those days. I'm
She's
so
got
glad they're over.
She's got tri-citizenship. Okay, well, that makes it even more interesting. Okay,
All right, so the only change you're gonna make is moving it to the 6th, just the 6th of July, the rest stays as is.
And the 16th of March.
Correct.
Right.
Right,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Great.
Okay.
okay. All right, now, community-wide survey.
Your Honor, this is a follow-up to our discussion on October 20th. As a follow-up to that, I'm recommending that we conduct a community-wide survey using the process provided by the National Citizens Survey, or NCS. It allows for resident feedback to be a key component of the discussions, and gives, in this instance, instead of taking a scientific approach where you would target only a certain finite group of folks, my recommendation is that we open this up village-wide to anyone who would be interested in doing it. It'll be provided online. We'll also provide paper copies here at Village Hall if somebody doesn't want to do it online or doesn't have access to it. We'll start this, if you feel, if you're okay with moving forward, we would start this by notifying the company tomorrow, actually, and we would start the process as soon after we can get the questions formatted, bring it back to you all for any additional questions or open-ended questions that you might want to ask. And then from that point, the survey would be finalized, notification would be mailed out to all residents via card, and then we would post information on our website, Facebook, Twitter accounts, and everything like that to encourage folks.
And as far as blasting out to the community, we only have, what do we have, about 1,800, 1,900 people signed up for?
Actually, it's 2,400. blast emails that we send
Oh,
out.
okay.
So, yeah, and
Yeah, it's not necessarily households, it could be.
it could be businesses,
Right,
it
right.
could be,
Well,
yeah.
but it could be 2 or 3 people in the same
Exactly.
house.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So, so we'll use all of our social media applications to do this. We'll talk to Mick
Well-
about putting something in the paper.
Do we do something with the phone call?
We could, sure, absolutely.
Now, that one, but if you don't have your cell phone registered, you're not getting those emergency calls?
If you if your house phone, if you have a house phone, it will go to your house
Oh,
phone.
sure,
If you
all
want to sign up for additionals, you can do that.
Yeah.
If you only have a cell phone, and Mark, correct if I'm wrong, if you only have a cell phone but no household or house phone, you've got to sign up. So,
Right, but that doesn't mean they have to sign up.
that's right, that's exactly, it's
yeah.
optional.
So, okay, fine.
And
So
you
the
cannot-
so the postcard is a good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're kind of taking the old school approach to this, and
No, I don't,
hopefully folks.
yeah, I
can-
mean, just so it gets out.
Yeah.
You know.
So the postcard would go out, and then the survey would be available, and I'm not sure how long it will be available. I'm assuming it'll be a week or 2 weeks or something like that. And then NCS will provide then, it will collect the data, it will then produce a report that will then be presented to you all once it's put together. 4 to 6 months is the estimated time that it will take to do that. I think in this instance, we may want to, we'll bring back the survey in a draft form so you all can review it. I would encourage you all to think about any kind of questions that you might want to ask. Specifically, I was thinking about asking some questions about senior programming here in the community, both programming and housing and those types of things. Maybe talking a little bit about some of the development services or development activities, and then, and I want to talk to them then about, could we allow just an area where they could provide general comments, so that
Yeah, sure.
if we don't have something like that. So with that, if the board feels it's appropriate to move forward with this, it's recommended that you direct me, the village manager, to initiate the community-wide survey process with National Citizen Survey and make the necessary payments to complete the process, including the postcard mailing in an amount not to exceed $15,000.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, motion is second.
One, just
Oh,
thing I was
trustee
thinking
Schultz.
was if we could kind of piggyback with some of our retail partners, like the management team at Hawthorne and Indoor, if we can, whatever we can get in the way of a free consultation from like a group like Buxton or whatever, to make sure that all the questions that retailers would like answered, concerning, I don't know, number of cars you may have, or I don't know what they'd like. Well, yeah, but I'd like to have it, though, that this would be a tool that we could then share potentially with retail
Right.
folks to say, hey, this is the demographic within our border, not necessarily within.
If we
retail.
send this out,
I know, it's got, the
This is
income
like-
and
there's a
what the
lot.
property tax is, but I don't know if there's anything missing. I guess
Well,
that's,
the only
there's
thing.
always going to be something missing.
Right.
Trustee
Well,
Schultz.
the only thing I will tell you, Trustee Schultz, is that I don't think we can create a document that provides the sophisticated information that they pull when you shop there, both either online or come into the store, and when you do your credit card charges and everything like that. The cybermetrics, or whatever they
Yeah.
call that, I don't think we can go deep enough to be able to make it worthwhile adding anything to our survey, and that's the only caution I would throw out there.
sure, no, I understood, but if there's something just in
We'll
general,
we'll talk to the mall, for instance, and get a sense, so.
because it doesn't, well, it does talk a little bit about ages and things of that, but whatever.
Okay.
Well, go ahead, Trustee Grebe.
I just wanted to make one general comment that I think there's way too many questions. I'd look at it and I'd just toss it. I mean, to tell you the truth.
It's kind of
That's
busy.
why we're doing it on email, so you can't toss it.
Yeah.
No, I
Delete.
mean, reduce the number of questions.
Well, yeah, it's going to come back to us.
You're
I
right,
mean, this
right,
is
exactly.
just a sample.
That's why I'm making the comment.
Trustee Williams?
One thing, when I was reading through it, that kind of popped out in my mind, and I really want to ask Mark his reaction, was do you feel safe in your neighborhood or your area? Is there any way we could do like a follow-up question to that? If you answer yes or no to this, you don't feel safe. What area, not where, but north of 60, south of 60, original section of town, Hawthorne, just the general,
Okay, we'll see
you
if we
know,
can do that.
so that we could pinpoint it down. Wouldn't that be helpful to you, Mark?
Absolutely.
That's what I was thinking.
We had a couple of our officers do a community survey from the police department perspective and as part of their master's program, and did exactly that. We were able to isolate it to the 4 quadrants of town, and it is very helpful.
Yes, I thought it might be.
And, what, our strategic plan, that's all updated and,
No,
No.
this will be a tool that will then allow for
Well,
that updating of that.
but I would certainly put in there what we kind of agreed to in at least concept and discussion, which we had discussions on this as a board. So I wouldn't hesitate to put what we've already discussed at this level into the survey. If I had a pen, I'd be dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's okay, thanks. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what do we identify? Do we hit another top 10, or do we hit a top 5, or, I know it was more senior housing and such, and, what, a zoo or something? I'm just seeing if Mick's paying attention back there. No, we're not bringing a zoo to town. But, yeah, I mean,
No
we
circus
have,
either.
we have a rough draft of this,
Rough draft of what?
the strategic plan.
Oh, no, we have final.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, some of that, it's no time like, a survey to incorporate that into
Okay,
the survey questions. I mean, does the board have any problems with that? Nope.
No.
Because if we haven't adopted this yet, maybe we should put an asterisk next to it. Hey, we haven't adopted this yet,
sure. Let me go back and pull it out, because I'm not.
No,
because
don't
I'm
feel
not-
bad. I'm
focused on
not
it,
sitting
so.
here with a copy in front of me either.
Well, I'm not focused on the strategic plan in my head right now, so let me go back and take a look at it, and I'll work with the consultant on it, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, that's what I assume.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, anything else on this one? Do we need a vote on this?
Yes, please.
Okay, we got a first and a second.
Yep.
And no further comments or discussion, this is not to exceed 15 grand?
Correct.
15,000?
Correct.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustees Cook,
Aye.
Grieve,
Aye.
Williams,
Williams.
Williams,
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Bloom. I thought Bloom.
Williams,
Aye.
Hebda,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Markwart.
Aye.
For the record, I'd vote aye. Okey-doke. So now, motion does carry. All right, nothing from the chief, public works, building commissioner, finance director. Presentation of the municipal compliance report and actuarial valuation reports of the Vernon Hills Police Pension Fund. Other than it's unbelievably overfunded.
Well,
We got more money in there than Evanston probably, right?
well,
You're not prepared.
it's
to answer.
ironic you should say that, because one of the things I'm doing right now is presenting the municipal compliance report, which is required by House Bill 5088, and as I understand it, was the city of Evanston that inspired this requirement by,
Because they're so underfunded.
yeah, and because their city council was unaware of how underfunded they were.
How could I be this clairvoyant? Because we discussed this several years in the past.
Yes, yes.
At great length. Yeah, okay.
But this year is my last time of discussing this, and I'm leaving, or at least in this forum, and I'm leaving. Well, I'll make a very brief conclusion, but let me just do some highlights. The report shows that at the end of April 30th, 2015, we had about $39.9 million in the fund. It enumerates investment returns, pension payments, funding levels. It shows that our actuary, the private actuary, the funding level is 68.5%, and that's on a market value of assets, and the DOI funding level was 82.02%. The private actuary's funding level is lower for several reasons. First of all, the state uses a 6.75% investment return. They're assuming the assets are going to earn 6.75% in the future. The private actuary assumes 6%. The private actuary assumes officers will retire between the ages of 50 and 57. The Illinois Department of Insurance assumes it's between age 50 and age 70. Also, the private actuary uses the entry age normal cost method, which basically funds an employee fairly evenly throughout their career, whereas the Department of Insurance assumes or uses a projected unit credit cost method, which basically back ends the funding of pensions. So that's a situation that creates a problem for the later years. Now, one of our strengths has been that we've been conservative in funding our police pension, and it was noted by Standard & Poor's, the last 2 bond ratings, and it's a bright spot for the village of Vernon Hills in a state that has a lot of clouds over it when it comes to pension funding.
Been foggy lately.
That's tempered nicely, Larry. I like that. It's cloudy.
So, but there's one area where we have not been as conservative as the Illinois Department of Insurance, and that's in fully adopting basically their 2012 mortality and turnover rate assumptions. And so my recommendation at this time is that we fully adopt it, and by doing that, I think we solidify our position as being one of the conservative pioneers in terms of how we fund our pension. Now, if we hadn't adopted this, basically our pension contribution amount, so here comes the jaw-dropping part, but our pension funding amount would have basically stayed about even, within like $5,000. But because of this change, I'm recommending this will be a 15.2% or $234,000 increase over last year's level. But I want you to keep several things in mind when evaluating this. That's easy for me to say. Actuarial funding is really not about the cost of something, it's about the timing of something. And what one does if one doesn't use conservative enough assumptions is basically force the cost to really skyrocket in future years. If you use conservative funding, you can actually see your costs start to go down. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. The second thing is to look at our investment returns. Over the last 5 years, we've earned about 6.96%. Over the last 10 years, about 8.6% in the police pension fund. And the general fund could earn nothing close to that, partly because the pension funds can be invested 65% in equity by state law, and the general fund does not have that authority. So we're actually, by putting more money in the pension fund, it's a net savings to the overall village. The third thing to keep in mind is that due to our combination of, we use 5-year smoothing of assets, we used to use just the current year, and we also use a conservative investment return assumption, 6%. And so what we've been able to do is we have $1.5 million more in the actuarial value of our assets than in the market value. So that means that if we run into a rough investment market, we've built up the wherewithal to withstand that. And that's partly by using very conservative assumptions. That wasn't the case in 2009, partly because we weren't using 5-year smoothing, and partly because our investment assumption was 7% as opposed to 6%. So looking at how we've done since the crash, since April 30th, 2009, our average increase has been just a little over 7%, but in that time, we brought the investment return assumption down from 7% to 6%. We've adopted a lot more conservative mortality and turnover assumptions, and we've gone from market to 5-year smoothing. So we've really improved our ability to improve our position in the future. So I know I'm leaving John and Nikki and the staff a big budget number to absorb, but I really think from the point of view of preparing the village for the future, from the point of view of highlighting the strength to the bond rating agencies, I really think this is the right thing to do. And I think, you know, I wish this had happened while I was still here, but I think what we're going to see in the next few years is really a diminishment of the rate of increase of our pension contributions, because we're being conservative now, we're biting the bullet now, and we're preparing ourselves better for the future.
Okay, and under some of these, I guess, mortality calculations, are they taking into account if an individual, our individuals, you know, make it to 62, that they might have another 21 years to live?
There, you know what? One of the reasons our private actuary didn't jump on board with this was because, and he believes the Department of Insurance is using very conservative assumptions. I think they're doing it for a reason. They're understanding that mortality surveys have gotten behind, mortality assumptions have been behind the curve for a long time. They want to get out in front, and then hopefully as if mortality continues to improve, they will have had realistic assumptions. Just to give you an example, age 100 and beyond, they continue with the assumption that you have a, 63, or you have a 37% chance of living another year. So they're assuming that for somebody who's 100, they're assuming that for somebody who's 115. So, you know, it's a very conservative mortality
So are they assuming what I just said? Because every time I look at anything regarding Social Security, they just keep telling you, you know,
Wait next year.
retirement ages are going to get, I think next year, maybe it's 2017, I think it jumps to what, 67? And then it's going to start jumping, you know, pretty soon it'll be 70 before you can get a full benefit, you know, in the next.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, you know, hey, you know, I mean, yeah, but, well, no, but what I'm saying is, and then where do we stand amongst our peers? I know we're always doing comparables every time we sit down to talk about everybody's salary. Where do we stand as a community amongst our peers as far as this thing being funded?
You know,
I'm all ears, Larry.
I hope one of the things I've gotten across is funding is a funny thing. People, I could have the fund 100% funded tomorrow just by changing the investment rate assumption. And I think you can look at the Department of Insurance, 82% funded. I haven't seen a survey recently. We were at one point in the top 11%. I think we're certainly in the top 22% using that 20% using that conservative assumption. You know, there are things we have working against us. There are departments that have higher turnover than we do. That helps their funding, but it also diminishes their service. So, I mean, there are trade-offs there, but
Well, how would you approach, if in effect, this once you don't need a supermajority come January 1st, and the Dems can pretty much do what they think they need to do. What if you really do cut back on the revenue stream coming to us? Really,
Yeah.
So does that change any of these actuarial tables?
Well, what the law for Tier 1 employees and for Tier 2 employees are not going to change. As we heard at the last meeting, there might be a Tier 3. I mean,
But where does our revenue come from to fund this anyway?
right. I mean, the question is, it's kind of like the same issue with when we issue a bond. Where's the revenue come from?
Right.
This is an obligation that we have to meet. The question is, are we going to meet it in a cost-effective way, or are we going to kind of take the state of Illinois approach of pushing it down? And I'm not saying we're anywhere near the state of Illinois, so that's I'm sorry, I take that one.
Yeah, you
way
might
back.
want to read.
Yeah, but I'm just giving them as the other example. The state of Illinois is in a situation where their assets are so low, they have to sell their investments to meet pension costs. Now, how well can you manage a portfolio if you're managing your portfolio to cover your, next month's pension payroll? So that's the example of what you don't want to be. And I'm not saying we're anywhere near that, but that's the
There's a
example.
lot of people that play the fiddle down there.
Yeah.
They're like
yeah,
relatives
yeah,
of Nero.
Yeah.
Well, Springfield's burning.
I would think, though, that, based on the discussion we had previously, that as long as there's not a property tax freeze, we have the authority to levy the property taxes to both pay the debt service on the bonds that we have outstanding, and we have the ability to levy a property tax to pay for pensions. So that's,
If need be.
if need be. At this juncture, that hasn't manifested.
Yeah, well, it was even before home rule and an adverse judgment against the village.
Right.
You could do that. That's
Right.
we
So
looked at that
that's where
30
the
years ago.
reminder-
That's always been the law.
I
Well, with
did
that
have one question of Larry. So I'm looking, the total accrued liability, it really jumped a lot, like 15% or whatever. That's from the change in the actuarial.
Right, assumptions. Now, the remarkable thing is the change due to not meeting our ongoing assumptions was $40,000 on a $40 million pension fund. So we were spot on as far as as far as how conservative we were being. The thing that we haven't yet really tested is how good the mortality tables are. And someday we're going to test that, and hopefully we're.
So if somebody's 62, what are the mortality tables say
Oh, let me see.
that we're using?
Well, the ones that we're adopting today, which are based on the Department of Insurance 2012, let me see. Let's see, why can I not find the page when everybody's looking at me? I don't know why it works out.
Don't worry about it.
Pretty soon you won't have to put up with these questions, Larry.
Nikki's going, oh my
An hour.
God.
An hour.
Nikki will then,
Let's see, there was a page on percentage. Actually, I'm looking at this is for this is.
What page, yeah?
Illinois Department of
We got that in front of us?
Yeah, and they're assuming an expected mortality for somebody 60 to 64 of 0.58%, so per year. So in other words, when I'm 60, I guess this hits pretty close to home. When I'm 60, I have a 0.6% chance of not making it to 61. When I'm 61, I have a 0.6% chance of not making it to 62. So now you know
That's
why
60,
I'm
that's
retiring.
60%. So you got a 60%, what, so next year, well, 6/10 is that 60% chance?
No, that's less than a
Oh,
percent.
6/10 of
Yeah,
1%.
less than a
Okay.
percent.
You tell me I'm not gonna make it till next year? What are you saying?
Give it up.
That means you've got a 99.4%.
Yeah,
Not making
you have you have a 99.4%
Right.
chance
Yeah,
of making
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Oh, of making it.
Well, that's even worse.
Why, you don't want to make it to the next one?
Yes, I do. I'm just saying,
But he
but
doesn't want
as far as
pensioners.
funding the pension, you know,
Right.
people are living longer because
Right.
here's a pill, you know?
Right, but what they're saying is somebody who's 110 years old has a 63% chance of living to 111. Somebody who's 111 has a 63% chance of living to 112. Now, maybe that'll prove to be wildly optimistic, but
What is this, like Yoda math here? This is like Yoda math, you know, I mean,
this is
Christ.
your state of Illinois tax
You know,
dollars at work.
who's the guy in Channel 5? He wishes all the, the 100-year, the centurions that,
Oh, yeah.
what's his,
Willard Scott.
Yeah.
Willard Scott.
Yeah, that's
I mean, you want to make it to Willard Scott getting you one time, that's your prerogative, but,
Got my mother-in-law.
great, I
Made
mean, hey,
105.
okay. All right, so, what do you want us to do tonight?
Well, our obligate, what I'm doing is fulfilling our requirement to update the village board on the funding of the pension fund. The part that I'm exiting before I think it's in the best interest of the village in the long term that this be included in the budget with these conservative
At
assumptions.
1.7 million versus 1.5 million in round numbers.
Right.
I mean, this year.
Right, in the FY 16-17
Really?
budget that you're about to work on. So,
Yeah, okay, well, okay, that's the number you want to plug in. It isn't a number we necessarily will agree upon.
Yeah, when do we have to agree on that?
Well, we got time on the budget, yeah,
May 1st.
Yeah, May 1st.
Oh, okay.
Because we vote
That's
on
the
it.
start of the fiscal year. Okay, Larry, we'll take, if
Are you
you're,
coming back for that?
hey, if
I
you're
mean, just
traveling,
sit
we
in the
might,
audience?
we might want you to come back for that meeting.
Can I ask a couple questions just on the numbers?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm confused.
have you had any experience with police pensions? or-
Yeah, a little bit.
Really?
First, on the summary of results, you say the average salary increase has been 3.5%. Okay, but then on the next page, I'm assuming that the police take a portion of their salary, was it 9% that they have to contribute to the?
They have to contribute 9.91%.
So why is it that the anticipated employee contributions went down from year to year? If their salaries are going up, why is the,
Wait, some retire.
because of retirements? Disability?
Right.
Oh, the new officers, okay, so they're just paying in, they're not
Just a little bit,
in there yet. Okay.
but the big one was retirement.
All right, so we're gonna move on now, Larry. You got a problem with that?
Yeah, I guess I just feel compelled, I'm sorry, one more sentence, but.
One more time.
I feel like we've been recognized as a leader by Standard & Poor's, and because of our conservative assumptions, I feel like that's helped our AAA, and I feel like that's a commitment that helps us on our bond rating. It's a vehicle where we earn more money than we can with the general fund. So I feel like this is a prudent move if we're thinking long-term. And
Well,
that-
I appreciate your comments and your recommendation, I mean, now, yeah, I mean, being home rule now, and even, I guess there's, revenue taxes that only affect somebody that's spending more money than Joe Blow, the other Joe Blow, that, we can implement at a higher rate now, whether it be a hotel, motel, food and beverage, going back to, natural gas, I don't know, electricity, I don't know, telecommunication,
Right. The 2.6
Yeah,
million
across
plus
the
or
board.
minus that,
They would have nothing to do with the property tax,
well, no, that included the property tax, the 2.6. It included the
Well,
statutorily,
Oh, the rebate.
what's the word? Give me a word. Allowable, the statutorily allowable increase, we could get up to 2.6 by implementing, those increases in the telecommunication and the natural gas
Telecommunications.
No,
People are
no.
already raising Keen
No,
about
no,
that.
I'm just saying.
and the property tax.
Yeah, the residents.
But
don't like
those are all available to us.
But, if you
But
wanted
at this
to,
juncture, with the increase in sales that we're seeing and our revenue coming in from the sales tax,
well, you could set all of those aside and raise the sales tax another quarter cent.
0.25%, right, to the
How
max.
many times do you do that?
One more time, I think, right?
No.
We can,
I think
No, you-
Gurney
Yeah.
has a 0.75% on theirs, so, I mean.
right.
Well, you can go high,
Yeah, you could.
if you want
could
to,
make it cook
even,
money.
We're the lowest.
hell, you could probably go 2% if you
Yeah,
had to.
I
you
mean,
know.
the point I'm making is we can generate another 5.2 million and still be no higher than Gurney. I'm not saying we should. and
No,
I'm not-
setting aside all those revenue generating tax, that they're taxes that, are based on you buying things and taxing the use. Yeah, okay. All right, Larry. I appreciate the time and effort you put on this and the other 31 years.
Larry, I just want to say, I attribute our financial well-being, whole bit, to you.
Well, thank
No,
You mean
without
all of
his-
it?
Without his recommendations, we'd all be sitting here going, So he makes us all sit here and think about it, and it was a great job. And Nikki, I expect for you to do the same thing. Okay.
And I,
Okay.
and I think it's a great process of the interaction between staff and board in coming to good
Yes.
decisions. So I think
Exactly.
collectively, it's a really good process.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. What's next? Something, are we ready for omnibus?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
God bless America. Okay, okay. Is there a motion to approve items A through R?
So made.
Second.
Motion and a second. Comments or questions? Anybody want anything pulled?
Yes, there's nothing I
No? Okay. Motion and a second. Right, Lynn?
Right.
Yep.
Roll call.
Trustees Williams,
Aye.
Hebda,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Markwart,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Grieb.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay. Unfinished business, approval of special village board minutes of November 16th, 2015. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion is second. Comments, questions, corrections, deletions? If none, roll call, please.
Trustees Hebda,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Markwart,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Grieb,
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Motion carries. B, approval of village board minutes of November 17th, 2015. Is there a motion to approve?
So made.
Second.
Motion is second. Comments or questions? Deletions, corrections? If not, roll call.
Trustees Schultz,
Aye.
Markwart,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Grieb,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Hebda.
Aye.
Motion carries. New business approval and passage of resolution 2015-182. A resolution authorizing renewal of a lease agreement between the Village of Vernon Hills and Lincolnshire Prairie View District 103 for facilities located at the Vernon Hills Athletic Complex. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Motion is second. Trustee Cook.
Can't see anything really change. I mean, it's,
No, sir, none at all. No language changes other than the date.
yeah,
And the addition of the Lincolnshire Soccer Club now being a
Well,
participant in the scheduling.
but that percentage has always been in there, so
Yeah.
they're
Right.
now choosing to act
Okay.
upon that.
just wanted to check because I didn't see anything.
Yep.
Okay, any other comments or questions? If not, roll call.
Trustees Markwart.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Grieve.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Hebda.
Aye.
Schultz.
Aye.
Motion carries. Any other new business or communication to come before the board? Trustee Cook.
I already passed this on to Dave Brown and that, but I did want to make a comment. We've been talking, several of us up here, that having the lights from the light show all over the
Oh,
village.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't remember any single thing in quite a few years where so many people have come up to talk about it, and it's all positive comments, and my compliments to Dave's people at Public Works and that for all the work you guys put in putting it around town. It definitely has been a very good thing, and it's always nice to get those kind of compliments, so, kudos to you and your crew and stuff.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, right.
Back shoulder.
Yep.
Okay, trustee Markwart.
I have to say the same. I think there are 15 locations, is that correct?
And increasing.
And increasing.
Do we,
Everybody wants to
can
know.
you go online to check that out?
It is on our website, the different locations. It's kind of our Where's Waldo, or how many snowmen are out there. But yeah, there are many locations throughout town. Yeah, absolutely.
A big thanks to you and Public Works, because one thing when you
fantastic.
take everything and put it into one spot, you have scattered into 15 and more, which is a great task, so.
Where's Shrek yet?
A big thank you.
I'd have to look to the map.
Well, I mean, are some of the cartoon characters out there somewhere? The stuff the seniors did?
The cutouts are not out, but yeah, it's more the illuminated
yeah,
displays.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think he's in Long Grove, to be honest.
I just think that the organizations that are participating
Yeah, it's
is
nice.
amazing. I mean, everybody it's fantastic. But the guys and gals at your department, the work they've put in on it, on that, as well as the village hall here, it's just beautiful. You always do a great job, and I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. It's been a really a community experience. As we've put them out, more and more people have contacted us, asked us how can they participate.
Yep.
I agree. My staff, it's been a real team effort. The feedback from the board and the iterations of what should we do, and we understand it was really important to the board. Everyone loved the Cuneo Winter Wonderland, the 21 years there, and the board really wanted to do something, and we didn't know what we were going to do, but it seems like it's working out pretty well.
Yes.
I just want to share, things have been installed. Right now, our elves will be chasing the lights and trying to keep them running. We've been blessed that we haven't had a lot of moisture, and this is our first year,
So
so we're
that's good.
keeping our fingers crossed.
Yes.
But the new system compared to the Cuneo site, it is a GFI'd system, so when snow hits a bulb, it melts and it trips the circuit. So we are running around at night and resetting things and trying to make sure that everything's lit, and we'll continue to do so.
That's great.
So thank you.
Wonderful job.
Okay, trustee Hebda.
On another note, I know that you faced the first snowfall, and I want to thank Public Works for all their efforts, along with clearing the debris of these poor trees that took a
Yes.
hitting very
Oh,
hard.
yeah.
I know
It
it's been a
wasn't
rough,
just a snowstorm, it was a
been
blizzard.
crazy, but we thank you for that too, because I know that was a really crazy
Yeah.
snowstorm.
Who would expect,
Yeah.
if you measure it in Mundelein, approximately 18 inches of snow, 12 in Lincolnshire, and, somewhere in between for us.
Yeah.
Who would expect that in November? So,
How many trees did we take down?
Well, there's branches.
There's
There's a number of trees he had to take down. just because they were blocking the road.
Just on the calls alone, we were receiving over 50 calls per day for pickups. So I don't know how many that equates to, how many were branches, how many were trees, but yeah, we are continuing to lap through town. December 11th will be our last day for collections. We've already lapped through town twice now. And next week we'll continue. So we also are looking to help our neighbor Libertyville. They had some impacts too. I met their new public works director, and we've offered to help our neighbor. It is the season, so we'll be sending a chipper truck and a crew over there to help them too.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Is that about it?
Yep.
Okay, is there a motion to, we don't have to come back. No. Motion to adjourn the board meeting and go to committee of the whole, and we will go into closed session for personnel.
Correct. Ongoing litigation, and then in compliance with state section 2-C-1 and 2-C-2, with regards to employees, the appointment, the employment, or compensation of a possible future employee.
Right.
Yeah, all right. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn? And
So
go to
made.
committee of the whole?
Second.
Motion is second, roll call, please.
Trustees Cook,
Aye.
Grebe,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Hebda,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Markford.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, I'd like to call the committee of the whole meeting to order. First item of business is approval of committee of the whole meeting minutes of November 17th, 2015. Is there a motion to approve?
So made.
Second?
Motion is second, comments, questions, corrections, deletions? If none, roll call, please.
Trustees Grebe,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Hebda,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Markford,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, consideration of a development sign for Plymouth Farms subdivision, Butterfield Road, and Plymouth Farms Road. Building Commissioner Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and the sign would,
Son.
thank you. The sign would, it would be at the southeast corner of this intersection, and it would replace the existing sign that's there now. A wood panel would be placed on top of a natural limestone base. There'd be a decorative light fixture to the left of the sign. The sign would maintain a minimum 15-foot setback from all the property lines, and it would also maintain a 25-foot sight line at the intersection of the street that would be measured from the curb to the side, to the sign. The proposed height would be 8 feet, and the size of the panel itself would be approximately 10 square feet. There's a copy of a color rendering that's been attached to your packet, along with an aerial map showing the specific location. And for tonight, if the cow feels that this request is appropriate, then staff should be directed to prepare an ordinance approving the sign in accordance with the conditions that are outlined in your packet. And there are representatives from Plymouth Farm here if you have any questions.
Trustee Schultz.
As I mentioned to the gentleman, I didn't get your name, but the manager for the association, they're doing a marvelous job in putting a facelift on the entire community. And this is just one additional thing, and it's great to see that level of revitalization in one of our older townhome communities. And I'm ready to go with this as is unless someone else has any objections.
Yeah, thank you, Trustee Schultz. My name's Carl McElroy. I represent Cornerstone Real Estate Services. I'm the management company for Plymouth Farms, and Jennifer Hoffman's here as the board president.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
So without
great.
further ado, motion to approve or direct staff to prepare the necessary ordinance to fulfill this.
Second?
The motion is second. Any further comments or questions? Do we have a picture to flip on our, the screen?
We do. Mike, you want to? There it is, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's almost as good as something you'd find in Lake Forest.
Yeah.
There
back nicely also, it's not stuck out in the corner.
Apparently, roll.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted
I
to
know.
let people see it at home. Okay. All right, roll call.
Trustees Williams,
Aye.
Hebda,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Markwart,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Grieb.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too.
Yeah,
Thank you very
Thank
much on
you.
behalf of everybody in Plymouth Farms.
good.
Great,
All right.
thank you.
Go ahead and get it done.
Get her down before it snows.
Again.
Okay, there's nothing else to come before the committee of the whole. Is there a motion to adjourn to go to closed session on litigation and personnel?
So made.
Second?
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Trustees Williams,
Aye.
Hebda,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Markwart,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Grieb.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you and good night.
Happy
Yeah,
holidays.
happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.